Hey everybody, it's Mike. I'm back. Took a little vacation there, but I'm back. I'm to talk about Christmas, a little bit about Christmas, well, mostly about Christmas, and the Hare Krishnas and their selling books during the Christmas time, how they use Christmas to sell their books, and we'll get into that in just a moment, but right now, I want to do this intro. Yeah, so Christmas and Krishna. So it's Christmas time, so Merry Christmas, everybody. And let's see what we can do here. Maybe. Oh. Okay, so Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy New Year. If you celebrate New Year, if you celebrate the New Year, I don't want to, offend anybody if you don't celebrate New Year's and go ahead and wish you a Happy New Year and you don't celebrate New Year's. But Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays if you don't celebrate New Year's. Christmas time with the Hare Krishnas. Well, first let me just say congratulations to everybody out there with Scientology, protesting Scientology, getting that done. You guys are doing a great job. Everybody working behind the scenes, everybody out in front of the camera, everybody out in front of the buildings, and Winter Wonderland, all of that. You guys are all doing a great job, and I want to just give you guys all a great shout out. And if you came through to my channel and you're watching this from a Hare Krishna means, and you don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about Scientology, I want you, to check out the Scientology protesting that's going on all over the world, and especially in L.A., in Hollywood, where I'm from. So I'm really into that, watching that, and supporting all the Scientology protesters out there that are doing hard work, that are taking on the city, they're taking on the cops, they're taking on everything. It's a much bigger fight than I think any of them thought it was going to be. And they're holding tough and they're winning out there. So congratulations and keep up the good work. I support you 100%. I was a Hare Krishna for 20 years, and I know all about their teachings, everything about their movement. I've been out for 12 years, so I don't know what's happened in the last 12 years, but it's all the same. And it's just like Scientology. In fact, I think in a lot of ways it's worse. Their philosophy, it's not even philosophy. Their beliefs, their crazy, wacky beliefs are dangerous. And they corrupt people's minds. They turn people crazy. They make people fanatics and extremists, and they fill their heads with, but a lot of times I want to focus on the child molestation. Okay, the child molestation goes unchecked. The reason it goes unchecked is because of their philosophy. It's not even a philosophy. It's their belief that these gurus or anybody chanting Hare Krishna is somehow perfect. That they're somehow in this special world where they're on another level of living. They're like in they think they're like in a spiritual world where this real world that the rest of us are in, it doesn't really matter, and it doesn't apply to them. And so they have these ideas that even if they do something horrible like molesting children, that they don't go to the cops. They don't report that. They don't do anything about it. They don't seek help for the children. They don't seek help for the parents. They don't seek help. They don't do anything to the perpetrator. I mean, they want to say they do, but they don't. It's all lies and deceit, dishonesty. I don't know how else to say it. They have a child protection organization that I understand they're getting rid of, and they don't protect any children. They protect the gurus. They protect themselves. And the only reason they have that is because the grown-up kids that they abused in the 60s and 70s and 80s sued them. You know what? These little kids grew up, and they're telling their stories all over the internet. And they took them to court and won $400 million. Of course, they appealed it and they fought for it. They don't even want to fess up to their crimes. They had to appeal it. They had to get Alan Dershowitz, a guy who admittedly went to Epstein Island and got massages from little kids. It's friggin' insane. That all happens because they believe that this Vaishnav, this Guru Aparad, Vaishnav Aparad, all these imaginary things in their head keeps them from reporting child abuse, lets them excuse domestic abuse. They don't care about domestic abuse. In their books it says that women they can smack their women around. That women are less intelligent, and they need to be smacked around. This is in their books. This is what they want to teach normal people. People that don't believe any of this crap. They get into this cult thinking they're going to chant Hare Krishna and do yoga and be a happy person. And next thing you know, they're believing all kinds of stuff. Women like to be raped. You don't report child abuse because even if a guru is doing devotional service and he's fixed up in devotional service, you can't question anything he does, anything, even if he does abominable things. They use the word abominable. Even if he rapes a little kid, you can't do anything. You can't say anything. You can't. On what planet is that excusable? Now, they're gonna say, well, no. We put restrictions on them. We ban them. They can't have class, or they can't initiate disciple. They belong in friggin' jail. Seriously. I'm serious about this. Even the people that I was associated with, when push came to shove, and it was like they wanted to protect this child molester. After years of saying that that's what the bad people in ISKCON do. How are we doing? How do you want me to do the thing that I'm saying? It's insane. I said, what's causing this disease? I had to figure it out myself. What is causing this disease in this cult? And I figured it out. It is a cult, and it's a cult of friggin' protecting child molesters. Otherwise, why were they trying to convince me to protect a child molester that they got out of jail? They had him in jail where he belonged. And the people that I was associated with got him out and then went and wanted to have him be part of our organization that was fighting child molesters. And when I said, no, I'm not going to be part of it, then they attacked me ruthlessly. on the internet, trying to defame me within the cult, which was really weird. But then trying to defame me in outside the cult, which was like doubly weird. Like what Scientology does. Like we're going to use our cult tactics on people who aren't in the cult. Because that's all they know how to do. That's why when I see these people that are like these weirdos that are following them, these anti-protesting people protesting the protesters and their channels and all this stuff, it's like those are Scientologists. I don't care what they say. You can tell they use the same tactics. They use the same. They're probably Scientologists that just don't have the money to be a Scientologist. Or they're a Scientologist, but they don't have the time or the money or the willpower to really be a Scientologist. But they believe on all that crap. Normal people don't do that shit. Normal people are not going to start a Hare Krishna channel. Normal people are not going to come into my channel and start protesting me. Normal people couldn't give a shit. The only people that are going to come in and give me a hard time are fucking Hare Krishnas. They give themselves away. Scientologists do too. They give themselves away with that shit. The security guards, the whatever, the police activity, it's clear as day to someone who's been in it, or someone who's been around that way of thinking, that way of trying to influence their thoughts on. It's crazy. These Hare Krishnas are friggin'. They don't report child abuse. They think women are the problem in the world. Every single problem in the world is caused by women. Directly or indirectly. I'm not joking. They don't protect their children. They don't give a shit about their children. Seriously, they don't give a shit. Everything in Hare Krishna is just a prop to make it look like they have the perfection. And it's the farthest thing from it. And they got everybody in there brainwashed. Literally brainwashed, like spiritually brainwashed, no, just like any other religion. Just like Catholics are brainwashed into going to confessional and doing mass, and everybody was like, it's just the degree of their devotion to the rituals. You know, we were Catholic, but we didn't do that. There was a point where we stopped doing all that, but we were still the same Catholic family. You have to participate in all. That's the thing about it. Just a religion where you just go. Hare Krishna and Scientology, no, that's a different story. It goes beyond the just come and go and follow, try to do the best. No. There's really evil stuff. Like, in the Catholic Church, if I went to church and some guy, when I was a little kid, and some guy molested me in the parking lot, like like just some guy in the church. That police would be called. There's no protecting that guy. But in the Hare Krishnas, they protect everybody. Everybody's protected because they have this image. That's why this guy could take that little girl at a festival, take her down the road, behind the road, rape this little girl, and then just go right back up on stage like it was no big deal. 1, she's a little girl. 2, they don't report crime. 3, she's a woman. I mean, that's what they create. They create this, and racism, hating, neglecting children, trafficking children. She told her story how she got trafficked at 13 years old to marry some old guy. And that's what I'm saying is in the books. Where do you think the mom got the idea to marry off the daughter? All of this stuff is in the books. That's why the guy, when they went to court, the guy in charge of the schools is like, we were just doing what we were told to do by the founder. He said, open a school, do this. He appointed me to run the school. He told me how to run the school. He made the curriculum. We were all just doing what he said. And everybody was going along with it until now that the shit hit the fan, now that there's a trial and $400 million on the line, oh yeah, now nobody wants to take the blame for it. Nobody wants to point the finger at the founder. They're not going to do that because it's a cult. So of course the founder's not at fault for creating this friggin' school system, but at least the head of the school was like, nah, I was just, what did I know? What did we know? Some 22-year-old kid, my guru puts me in, says, hey, go run the school. I'm running the school. At least he was honest about it. He was honest, and he's like the bad guy. That's how the cult is. He became the most evil, horrible person because he told the truth. Hey, I was just doing what the old man said. He opened the school. He put me in charge. He made the curriculum. He told us what to teach, how to teach it, when, where, everything. He controlled it all. And he's not saying, well, I'm not guilty. He's just saying, yeah, he's the one. He's just being honest. At least he's being honest. All that abuse of those kids, he was the only one who came clean and said, you know, yeah, all this abuse happened, but Prabhupada's the one who created the school. He's the one who picked the teachers. He's the one who picked the gurus. He's the one who told us how to do it. He's the one who told us to get them up at 4 o'clock in the morning. He's the one who told us what to feed them. He's the one who told them what to teach them. He's the one who told us how to discipline them. Prabhupada put these people in charge. We were all just we were just doing what we thought we were doing the right thing. He's the only one. He's the only one who came clean. And then everybody else was like, no, he's the one. He just wants to blame it all on Prabhupada, but he's the one who really... No, it's in the books. It's in the friggin' books. I don't have to make it up. Jagadish didn't have to make... Jagadish's kid went through a horrible ordeal and passed away. You don't think he suffered? You don't think he suffered enough? Like me, I can't believe that they came to me and they wanted me to rubber stamp this convicted pedophile. After what happened with me in the LA temple. They expected me to just be... I was blown away by that. I said, what is this disease? I'll go along with a lot of this stuff. Because a lot of this stuff I'm accepting on faith because you have to accept something on faith. I'm accepting it on faith, and maybe these stories I don't fully accept these things are real, like the demon head eating the moon. I mean, they say, well, Krishna can make it look like anything, like a magician. He can make it look like something's there when it's not, or when it's not there when it is. So then you go, well, okay, then maybe there. I mean, but when it comes to like women like to be raped, and you have an 11-year-old daughter who's been abused, violated, or whatever however you want to call it, and then the books say all these weird things. I mean, these are like major cracks that opened up, and then you're gonna want to bring a child molester into the group who you just sprung out of jail. Where does that come from? Where does that teaching come from? Where you do that, where you behave in that manner, where that's your frame of reference, where, well, I got to get this guy out of jail because he's a convicted pedophile, because he's a Hare Krishna, he's one of us. Where Prabhupada's books, these disgusting friggin' books that say that black people belong in the jungle. The Negroes never should have come out of the jungle. That women like to be raped. That women have a small brain. Women are less intelligent. Children can be beaten. That's what's in these books. And you don't even have to buy the books. You can look it up online. You can just go right to the crappy part, look at the crappy part and go, what the fuck do I want this for? What the fuck do I want this book for? The hell would I want? When you know what's in these books, you don't want nothing to do with these books. I'm telling you. You don't want nothing to do with these books. There's not a person on this planet that wants anything to do with any one of these books. If you see any one of these books, I'm telling you, the shittiest fucking book you're ever going to read. Women have small brains. Women like to be raped. Little girls make the greatest wives. 11-year-old girls leaving their husbands behind to go have sex with Krishna down by the river. That's what's in these books. Women have small brains. Black people belong in the jungles. Never should have been given freedom. Never should have been taken out of the jungle. Never should have been given civil rights. Black people are drunkards, and 51% of them. And if you build a library, this is what he said. This is what Prabhupada said, and I shouldn't be laughing. But this is what Prabhupada said. If we build a library, black people are just going to go there for drinking. They're not going to go there to read. They're going to go there to drink. He said you can't walk around New York because of the black people. Because black people are dangerous and rapists. Meanwhile, India is the rape capital of the world. Women are gang raped in public, on buses, on the street. And he's talking about black people in New York? He's got the nerve to talk about black people in New York? When India is the gang rape capital of the world? Where ISKCON book distribution, the crap that's in these books, the idea that women like to be raped, that is such a violent philosophy. That women like to be just physically and sexually violated against their will. And they want to come out with these videos every 6 months. They're going to put out a video saying, well, Prabhupada doesn't mean women like to be raped. He absolutely means it, because you can read it for yourself in his books. You can read exactly what he says. He defines what rape is. He says rape is without consent. Otherwise, there's no rape. Rape is against their will. It's with no consent. It's against, he says women like that. Women like a man who's expert at rape. Women, he says sex is just an itching feeling. And when you scratch it, there's relief, whether it's wanted or unwanted. So he's saying that men are doing women a favor when they rape them, because women have this itchy feeling for sex. I mean, seriously, this is what's in these books. And so they use Christmas to push these books. It's all about selling these books that say these disgusting things. And they're going to use Christmas. They're going to use Christmas, the holiday that like half the world celebrates. They use it because they don't give a shit about Christmas. They don't care about Jesus and Christmas and the fact that it's a holiday for millions and billions of people, and that people are out trying to celebrate and celebrate and enjoy their religious holiday, spending money on their religious holiday, on their friends and family. And now the Hare Krishnas are out there trying to get, they're only using Christmas so that they can sell these books. I'm going to show you in just a moment. I'm going to show you right now. Christmas
Hare
book
Krishna.
marathon.
How can you help book distribution? Support our troops. There are many devotees who are going out to distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. Cook prasadam for them. Sponsor some books. Go out and help carry their books. Give them some logistical support by providing transportation, office support, banking, giving them encouragement, giving them a pat on the back, give them some warm socks, talk to them, appreciate them. You will see how you will be part of the Sankirtan mission. We are one family, one team. We have one mission and one goal, to please Srila Prabhupada, the previous acharyas, and Krishna by distributing as many of Srila Prabhupada's books as possible. There is no place for groupism, sectarianism, or other types of confusions.
Okay, let me just say, I just want to point out that he's saying that it doesn't matter what group you're in. It doesn't matter what group you're in. It doesn't even matter if you are on your own and you don't feel like you're affiliated with ISKCON, or you're a Ritvik, or you're this Vik or that Vik, or you have this guru or that guru or whatever. If you are distributing Prabhupada's books, you are part of the problem. You are part of a cult of Prabhupada worshippers who distribute his books and believe everything that he says. Everything that he's ever said, recorded, videotaped, everything that he's said. Every time he's picked his nose, it was the most glorious thing you've ever seen in your life. Every time he, whatever, passed gas, these people would just like, oh, he passed gas. So when Prabhupada says women have less brain, small brains, black people belong to the, these people believe it. They believe every single piece of shit that's in these books. And they're using Christmas to go sell these books. And it doesn't matter if you're a Ritvik, it doesn't matter if you're this Vik, that Vik. I don't care what Vik you are. Or you're not a Vik. If you're ISKCON or that con, whatever con you're in. You're distributing Prabhupada's books. You're part of this Prabhupada cult. Even if you live in a cabin somewhere and you don't feel like you're part of anything, but I just distribute Prabhupada's books and I chant Hare Krishna. Blah, blah, blah. You're distributing these books. Shame on you. You're distributing the most vile, disgusting crap on the planet. Women like to be raped. That violating a woman against her will is somehow scratching her itch, giving her, it is just so disgusting. And he doesn't just say it, he repeats this. This is part of his teaching, that women are Maya, that Maya is what causes all the problems in the world. You're either with Maya or you're with Krishna. And women are Maya, and women represent Maya. Women are Maya Devi. And we should respect Maya Devi, and blah, blah, blah. Prabhupada doesn't respect women at all. And he doesn't respect them even if they're in the movement. He says women have no place of authority. He says women can't be trusted, and that doesn't matter if they're Hare Krishna women or not. He doesn't make a distinction. The only time you're going to see a woman in charge or in any role of authority in a Hare Krishna temple or a Hare Krishna movement or anything is when there's no man around to take over. They're not temple presidents. They're not the Sankirtan leader. They don't even drive the van. They don't do anything if there's a man that can do it. They sit in the back and they shut up. And they definitely don't make waves, and they definitely don't speak up, and they don't really speak out of turn, and they don't do anything like that. That is not, women have no place in the Hare Krishna movement except to be a little decoration so it looks like a happy place for women to go. There's no happy place for women to go. Women have no rights. They have nothing. And listen to that one girl on the internet who grew up in the movement. She said, every day we're reading from these books about how women are stupid, women are less intelligent, women are everything I just said. Growing up, she heard that every day. Starting out when she's a little kid, little girl. All the way teenager. Until she finally just said, I've had enough. Talk about indoctrination. So it doesn't matter what group you're in. I don't care what, if you're a Ritvik or you're ISKCON or you're this guru or that guru or my guru is this, my guru is that. No. You're in this cult of personality with Prabhupada and his books and this whole crap. You're in it. And you're harming people and you're causing people to, you know how many people have committed suicide because of this friggin' cult? It's like a virus. It's like a mental illness. Look at this guy.
Feel the one team, one family by becoming part of the Sankirtan mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Support our troops, go out, distribute books, and support the book distributors. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
They're just using Christmas to sell books. That's it. They don't care about they don't care about Christmas. They just want your Christmas money because they know that you're out there with money to spend and you're buying gifts. So why not buy a book? Nobody wants your book. Nobody wants your books. Nobody wants that crap. If you know what's in these books, you don't want anything to do with these books. And I'm telling you, you don't even have to buy it. Next time a Hare Krishna comes up to you and says, hey, you want to buy a book about this? But tell him, say, I can get all that crap online. There's like a dozen web pages where I can look up all that shit online. I want to look up racist, sexist crap. I can look it up online for free. Why would I buy your fucking book? Why? Why would I spend money on your fucking book? I'm trying to buy presents for my kids. I'm trying to buy presents for my family, people that I love, people that mean something to me. You want me to give money to you for a book full of crap that I can get online? That I can get online for free? I can go right here and look up all the crap I want. All the time he talks shit about Jesus and Christians don't do this and Christians don't do that and Jesus was this and Jesus was that. I can look that all up right here. I got all of it. I don't need your friggin' book. Why would I want that? Why would I want that shit? It's all online. I can search anything I want. I can search how many times he said women like to be raped. I can search how many times he said black people belong in the jungle. I can search all the times he said Negroes are drunkards. I can search it and read it for myself. I can read the conversation where he told Yashodanandan that it's okay to beat the kids. I can read that. I can read the conversation where he told him to let Satyadana, whatever his name was, not Satyadana, whatever, told him, oh, let him go. Just let him go. But he can come back though. Because to Prabhupada, it wasn't bad. Hey, Rude. Prabhupada's parts have a fragrance of Krishna. Yeah. It's like kind of like some curry and saffron fart, I guess. I don't know what. It's like. But I'll tell you, they would definitely, if they knew Prabhupada was farting, they would like they'd get right up in there. There's a video where Prabhupada is spitting water out into the river. And they're like, oh my God, I gotta drink that. There's a video where Prabhupada's he ate some oranges and he puts it on his plate and he takes it away, and I know for a fact that they fought over those oranges. Hey, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas to you too, man. It's Christmas, so. But my hair, I gotta look good for the camera. Yeah, Merry Christmas, man. It's a great time of the year, and I had to do a show about how the Hare Krishnas and their books and Christmas, because it's just a big scam to get the books, to sell books. And so for those of you that are new and have never, you don't know really that much about Hare Krishna, or maybe you haven't been in that long, so you don't really know, and this is your first Christmas, so you don't know what I'm talking about. They do the Christmas marathon every year. And it's just to see who can sell the most books during the Christmas time, because that's when everybody's selling. It's the traditional selling season, right? I mean, everybody's selling everything. I mean, a lot of businesses work all year and scrape to get by and lay people off, and then hire right before Christmas, because they know that Christmas is the time when they make money. The period between like Halloween, Labor Day, and like Martin Luther King Day is when a lot of companies that's when they make their money. The rest of the year, it's like some businesses are catered around, like flowers are catered around funerals, weddings, Mother's Day, Memorial Day, and those are big days in the flower business. Mother's Day is like the biggest day of the year. Restaurants, holidays are big for restaurants, right? Thanksgiving and 4th of July, right? That's because Hare Krishnas, Christmas, when we sell our books, because we know everybody is out shopping. Excuse me. Everybody's out shopping. Everybody's got money in their pocket and they're looking to spend it on something. So they're out there trying to get some of that money. Sell their books and get their money. And it's the biggest time of the year for the Hare Krishna. This and Rath Yatra. Rath Yatra, Janmashtami, any other. But the biggest time is Rath Yatra, Christmas. Christmas marathon. And I'll show you, this is what they do. This is what they do as soon as the marathon ends. This is what they do. They have their little sales meeting.
This age, our service is to distribute books.
And this is in London.
Actually, one purport in the Bible.
And you can see there's not that many people in the temple.
It says
It's not.
the only surefire way to go back to Godhead, guaranteed way, is book distribution. So, congratulations to all the... Nervous laughter. But congratulations to all the devotees who've been out this marathon.
You notice the woman is sitting in the back by herself there.
Distribute these wonderful, wonderful purports of Srila Prabhupada and his ecstasies. So without further ado, Ananta Kripa Prabhu, do you have the iPad? Yeah. Oh, sorry, Mateo Prabhu. Yeah, and thank you. So
I wonder if he considers Prabhupada saying that blacks are drunks and blacks are drunks and rapists and women are less intelligent. I wonder if that's and like to be raped. I wonder if that's considered Prabhupada's ecstasies, because they like to consider everything's Prabhupada's ecstasies. So when Prabhupada says that women like to be raped, that's one of his ecstasies, I guess.
Without further ado, there's a few things on the agenda today. So one, we'll read the scores out, and as we read the scores, devotees can come up and they can pick up this Mahaprasadam, which is always pure. Hare Krishna. What? So, yeah, this is that's Mahaprasadam. So devotees can come up and take one each.
But please don't pay obeisances when you come up.
Mm.
Pay obeisances to Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah. So we pay our obeisances to Srila Prabhupada and take a Mahasweet. And then we'll also hear some Sankirtan stories from the street, and also.
So those of you that don't know, he's saying don't offer obeisances. It means don't bow down in front of me, but you can bow down in front of the statue of the man who raped an 11-year-old girl when he was 22 years old. You can bow down in front of him, and the one who says that little girl must be married, not should be, must be married. And this is another thing I want to make clear to anybody out there watching while it's on my mind right now, because I keep forgetting. Anytime anybody says that about Prabhupada being 22 years old and marrying an 11-year-old girl, and they say, well, that was back then, that's what they did back then, saying, well, no. Prabhupada says now that should happen now, that it must happen now. That it must happen now. What do you say about that? Do you agree with that? Because it's in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, Canto 1, Chapter 17, Text 38, purport, Prabhupada says, 16 years old must be married, 25-year-old men, it must be. It's compulsory.
So there's a section to glorify the devotees who've been helping organize in the temple, organize the deities, cooking, all these wonderful services which contribute to book distribution.
Women sitting in the back.
And,
you see the women sitting in the back there.
There'll be a video that's been produced by Vasanta Prabhu and Anna Mataji.
Over on the side, by themselves, over here in the back, are the women.
Which we'll be playing and to end the proceedings. And if we spontaneously burst into kirtan, that's allowed too. So, okay.
So there's a couple women sitting over here in the back. You can't see them, but
So here is the.
But they're not allowed to sit with where the men are, because men can't. They don't want to be around women. They don't want to be around women because women are the enemy in the movement. They're such a weird thing.
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So here are the scores.
Women have to
this
suffer
is
because men can't
Mark
control
Wood.
themselves. So the
And,
women have to sit by themselves over in the corner
categories,
because the men can't control themselves.
Team scores we have, but we also have collectors, and we also have...
So they're going over the
those
scores.
who
Like
are-
scores means how much money they brought in. They don't want to say money,
And then we obviously have our individuals also who...
so
who went
they say
out,
points.
some
And
spontaneously, like Sham Govinda Prabhu and Krishna Kumar Prabhu, who came and did a few days, and then others like Mother Sharada, who was there the whole time, but everyone is equally important in this mission. And as you can see from the book points and the Lakshmi score, this was one very
Lakshmi
successful
score is
marathon,
money, and
everyone
points,
contributed
book points is
tremendously.
how many books, I guess.
So,
They don't want to just say so many.
we announce the scores for Govinda's restaurant. We'll start from the bottom here, and then we go up
Because
to the
this
top
would
of
that would be
everything.
too much like a sales meeting if they did
So-
if they actually said what was really going on. So they
So, Govinda's restaurant went out for a total of 24 days and distributed 9 small books, 7 medium books, 11 big books, for a total of 16.75 book points.
So, what I was saying before about the restaurant is just a vehicle to sell books. This is exactly what I'm saying, because they're part of the book distribution scheme. It's like, how many books can we get by getting people into the restaurant? Like, how many, not only that, but I would suppose that some of the workers, they actually push the books onto the customers that come into the restaurant. But the idea is, and I know the idea is like, well, there's distributing food, it's a restaurant, and it's a food. No, it's a book, it's a vehicle to sell books. It's a vehicle to sell books because the whole organization is nothing but books and selling the books. It's it. That's it. It's like he said, the guy said at the beginning, I don't know if you caught, he said, the only way to go back to Godhead is to sell books.
Tirupati Gauranga Prabhu has been, he's not here today, but Krishna Kumar Prabhu is here, and he can represent Govindas. Haribo. Krishna Kumar Prabhu is this marathon, he's led the most amazing kirtans and has done really, really amazing service for the deities. He's been cooking almost every day in the deity kitchen.
So these guys went out. So this guy went out. The restaurant was able to sell so many books, make so much money, and he got a little candy bar thing. And if books was really, if he was really into selling books that much, he could get a job at a bookstore, or Amazon, or somewhere, and actually make money, not make a brownie cookie for all his hard work. Here he did all this hard work, so all these books, and he got a brownie.
Krishna Kumar Prabhu ki. And Tirupati Gauranga Prabhu also has a special mention because every year he does that on the 24th he produces a wonderful feast for all the devotees. Imagine coming back after all the book distribution, and he comes and he arranges an amazing pizza feast for all of us. So a great thank you to Tirupati Gauranga Prabhu. Haribo. So next is Krishna Kumar Prabhu. He went out on Gita Jayanti, arguably one of the most auspicious days in the marathon, and he personally distributed 18 Maha big books, 18 Gitas, for a total of £90 and 36 book points. Krishna Kumar.
He went out, he hustled, and bugged so many people. He got all that money hustling books to people that didn't want them, and he got a brownie for that, for all that hard work.
He came out for 3 days, and he distributed 41 small books,
41 books,
Maha big books,
19 big
for
books.
a total of 123.63 Lakshmi points and 48.25 book points. Haribo!
Haribo.
Shyam Govinda, he actually
Yeah, I find it hilarious.
he was living here in the ashram just a few years ago, and he was
Selling these crappy ass books that nobody wants. They gotta run and chase people down and bug them and lie,
It's a
and
testament to how book distribution
and they act like, you know, what's funny is
it's a testament to how
they talk about these books, like these transcendental books and transcendental book distribution, and how important it is, and getting these books out and going back to Godhead and blah 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 about the books and the books. And yet, when they go up to people and sell them the book, they lie about the book. They say, "Oh, look, have you heard about?" I've shown you the videos on how they sell the books. Exactly the guy out, how to sell it to an Indian. Don't tell them this, don't tell them that, because they think, and then act like you're dumb, and the Indians are smart, and then they will get this because Indians will have this, and then you can kind of da-da-da-da, and then you just get a donation and blah blah, and like you sneak it. He's like that because it's all just it's just a sales thing. They don't want to tell the truth about it. Say, hey, this is Swami Prabhupada's book and Bhagavad Gita and translation, all that, because it's going to turn the Indian customers off, because they're going to be like, well, I don't need. So they have a whole different approach. They can't just be honest. So when they're in the Costco parking lot with their shopping cart full of books, oh, do you know John Lennon? Do you know who the Beatles are? Hey, do you like are you vegan? Do you like vegetarian food? We got a cookbook. It's a cookbook. It's a book about the Beatles. It's a book about John Lennon. It's a book of yoga. Hey, it's a book about yoga, relieving stress, meditation. They never talk about what's really in the book. Hey, it's about chanting Hare Krishna and becoming a cosplaying as a 16th century Bengali. They don't talk about what the book's really about. This is an extremist Hindu priestly order of ancient 1,000-year-old. It's a 1,000-year-old monastic, ancient, died-out religion that has no relevance in today's world, and we want you to join it. No, they're not going to do that. They're not going to say, "Oh, this was made up in 1492 by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who may or may not have actually existed." They're not going to be honest with you. You say, "Well, we're just following our guru. We don't even really know what's in these books. We're just out here selling them because they told us to at the temple." I haven't even read this one here. You want to buy it? $5. They can't be honest with these people at all. So they're talking about, hey, he sold this many books, and he sold it, and Prabhupada didn't even care if you're honest with him or not. He said, by hook or crook, get him a book. Because Prabhupada knew that if you tell somebody the truth, they don't care about this crap. You got to trick people into getting this book. They don't know. Taking advantage of people. Most people that get these books, they don't want it, they throw it away. They throw it away, they donate, they don't care. A lot of people just leave it right where they got it. Back in the old days, they used to have to go through the airports and go through the trash cans and get all the books back. Because people would buy them in the airport, and before they'd get on the plane, they would just chuck the book in the trash. Because they didn't want it anyway. They'd just give the guy a couple bucks just to get rid of them. Just to get rid of these guys. And then these guys sit there and gloat about it like they're, like they saved the world. Like they saved the world by conning a person into buying a book that the person didn't want, that he's going to throw away anyway, and now you got his $5, and you're sitting there like you just did the greatest thing in the world.
Is that first point of contact for everyone. And Shyam Govinda Prabhu is a perfect example of that, and he brought a lot of energy in those 3 days that he was here. So Shyam Govinda Prabhu.
And they talk about, oh, you came in here and you taught everybody how to do book distribution. You taught us how to do book distribution. These guys are great book distributors. You know what? I watched that Brigupati. He ain't no great book distributor. He's just a salesman. He's just doing the same thing that any good salesman does. How is going up to somebody and going, hey, I like your haircut. I wish I could do that when you got a shaved head and a ponytail. I wish I could do that. And the guy laughs and you go, hey, hey, check out this book. It's a book about John Lennon. It's about vegetarianism. And the guy takes the book and goes, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, whatever, yeah. Hey, can you give a donation, a couple bucks? Usually people give about, $5. Okay, here's $5. And you guys got the book that he doesn't give a shit about these books. But you made him laugh and you made a joke and whatever. And the guy felt kind of good. And so he gave you. That's the oldest friggin' sales thing in the book. They were doing that 2,000 years ago. Hey, I like your watch. That's a nice watch. You want to buy this? You want to buy this watch? I mean, it's just, and they act like this. Like Brigupati is like the greatest thing ever. Like he's such a great book distributor. He's got the power of Lord Chaitanya with him because he went out and he's able to just. No, he doesn't. He's got the power of anything. He's just out there for 8 hours a day, talking to everybody. I used to go out and sell friggin' flashlights on a keychain for $5. It's like they sell the Bhagavad Gita for $5. I used to sell fucking. Nobody wanted the keychain either, but you know what? I sold them all. Because I went up and I bugged people and I'd go, hey, you want to check it out? $5. It's only $5. What do you want to do? And eventually, I sold them all. I wasn't some great genius, Wolf of Wall Street or anything. Fuck, I was far from that. But there are some techniques that you use, and you know what? If you persevere and you stick it out the whole 8 hours, it works. It happens. And these guys do the same thing. They sit there like freaking God came down themselves and held their hand while they sold these books out there. I mean, you didn't sell a book. You just bugged somebody until they gave you a couple bucks to go away. And you did that for friggin' 4 or 5 hours. And you sit there like you just did like you just saved the fucking world.
Is Nitya Sankirtan Yagya Prabhu, and he went out for a total of 2 days, distributed 160 small books, 20 medium books, 175 Lakshmi points, and 50 book points.
He brought in 175 Lakshmi points, $175.
Just Sankirtan Prabhu, he came also to Carnaby Street with us, and he was distributing. And, always he's encouraging the devotees, and he has such wonderful techniques for book distribution. And
techniques. He's got wonderful techniques.
He's been distributing books for 10, 11.
He's got techniques. And that just tells you it's not about selling, it's not about what's in the book. It's not about getting these books that people want them and they're like, oh, it's a technique just to get the money out of the guy's hand into your pocket. And a lot of times people will give money more than what the book is, more than what you're asking for. Those little tiny books, $1, they only want $1 or $2 for those little books. People give $5 for that book. Hey, you're already in the black. You do that a couple times, and selling these books is not. You're just bugging people. To sell this book. It's not like you're set up. You know, if they were setting up a book table at a farmer's market and they had a sign and a tent and it said, go to your Vaishnava books, Lord Krishna, Parampara, picture of Prabhupada and whatever, and they sat there and they had a bunch of books. Then you sell $175 worth of books. then I'll congratulate you. I'll congratulate you. That people walked up to your table, saw the book, asked you some questions, and they bought the book. That's not how it works. You go up to people, I've seen it, I know, and most of the public knows too. These guys bug me all the time when I go in the airport or when I go to school at college. These guys walk around, hey, I don't mean to bother you or nothing, but real quick, hey, can I see you? Hey, you like vegetarian food? You like vegetarianism? You like yoga? I got a great book about yoga. Here, check it out. Hey, check out this book. Yeah, no, it's good. No, you can keep the book. You think maybe you can give a donation? It's $2 maybe? The guy, okay, here's $2. And the guy, and that's book distribution. Is that book distribution, or is that bugging somebody to take a book they don't want and you just got $2 in exchange for it? Basically, he's paying you to go away. Tell me how many books you sell when you set up at the Rath Yatra, and you just have a book table and people walk up and buy books. Tell me how many books you're selling there. Like a fraction of the books. A fraction of the books. You got to walk around. You got to shove these books into people's hands. And you got to bug them until they finally pay you to go away. And then you sit there with a microphone the next day talking about how great these people are, how they did great work.
Yes, totally. So the technical aspect of book distribution is very important. It helps us
Book distribution.
Lakshmi points that are required for building temples, for maintaining the deities.
It's not book distribution, it's bugging people and begging.
So
what it
if we
is.
understand the technique of book distribution, then we too can bring in that Lakshmi which would otherwise be spent for other things.
Bring in that Lakshmi. Bring in that Lakshmi.
Sankirtan Prabhu ki jai. Now next is Vayu Prabhu, who went out for a total of 17 days, and he distributed 20 small books, 100 medium books, 2 big books, for a total of 200 Lakshmi points and 57 book points. Vayu Prabhu is famous for his way of distributing books. He has a stack of books in his hand at all times up to his neck. And he does this all year round, not just for the marathon, but he does it all year round. And so people actually, they say, he sometimes tell me people actually take pity on him and they have to take a book from him because it's going up to his neck and they see it's so heavy. But he's always out there and he's always out on Harinam and he's always giving those books out tirelessly. So great shout out to Vayu Prabhu. Vayu Prabhu ki! Next on the list is Sachi Kumar Nimai Prabhu. He went out for 7 days and distributed 465 small books for a total of £419 and 4 pence Lakshmi points and 116.25 book points. We want to thank Sachi Kumar Nimai Prabhu because he, in the middle of the marathon, helped us do one book run. And that saved us from having to go all the way to North London. And that morning he came back and he also helped us unload. And this service allowed us to continue the fire of Sankirtan and let it flow. You know?
Okay, so I'm back. I'm back, and so as you can see, this is what Christmas means to the Hare Krishna. So Christmas to the Hare Krishnas is basically a time to get money from all the Christmas shoppers who are out shopping. That's all it is. They don't care about Christmas. They don't celebrate Christmas, and that's the only significance Christmas has to the Hare Krishnas. And I'm not saying that it's supposed to, but they like to present themselves as modern day, like the real Christians. They're the real they're doing the real work. It's such crap. Such crap. Vaishnavas are, like more powerful than Jesus because Jesus was just liberating the Christians, but a Vaishnava can liberate anybody. But by that same logic, if a Vaishnava can liberate everybody, so can Jesus. There's no difference. But I don't want to get into that debate, but it doesn't matter. Because whether Jesus has liberated anybody or Hare Krishna has liberated anybody, that's not my point. I don't care. That's not my point. But my point is that they want to bring Jesus down to a level that is beneath them. So there's really even no reason to even celebrate Jesus' birthday, Christmas, or anything like that. They have no interest in that. They have no interest in celebrating Christmas at all. But if you talk to them on the street, they're going to be all, "Go, Jesus was this and Jesus was that," and they're going to talk about Jesus and they're going to try and glorify him because they know that that's a good way to get you, if you believe in Jesus, in to the Hare Krishnas. That's all it is. That is all it is. They just want to use Christianity and Jesus and Christmas and whatever religion that you were brought up in, whether it was a Baptist or Catholic or evangelical Protestant or whatever. They want to associate Krishna with Christ and then try to somehow make like a bridge, make some kind of a rope bridge, and then maybe we can make this rope bridge and we'll get you across that bridge from Jesus over to Krishna, from Christ to Krishna. And that's how they do it. That is a strong technique that they use. And there's plenty of YouTube channels where the Hare Krishnas are trying to use Christians and debating Christians and Christianity to expose Christians to Krishna. Otherwise, so they want to debate Christians. They want to go out and debate Christians and explain we're like Christ, and Jesus and Prabhupada was like Christ, and Jesus was like this, and we believe in and they want to get that out there and expose Christians who wouldn't be exposed to Krishna or Hare Krishnas or any of that. In fact, most evangelical Christians and what we would call born again Christians or whatever look at the Hare Krishnas and Hinduism as like a kind of like a demonic thing. Like no. We don't worship all those gods with the elephant and the thing and the hair. They don't like that. So they do realize that there has to be a link. There has to be that rope bridge. There has to be something to get the Christian over to Krishna. So they'll use any kind of technique, anything that they can. And you can look that up in Prabhupada's books. That you can Google. You can go to prabhupadbooks.com, and you can just type in Jesus Christ, Jesus whatever. He says it a bunch of times. You can read all these things he says, and it's basically what you would expect to hear from someone who's trying to use Jesus to recruit people into their cult. Like, yeah, I'm with Jesus. Jesus was good. Jesus was all right with me. So that's Christmas and Krishna. Christmas and Krishna is just a big book selling marathon to get their books out, to get people to buy their books because people are out buying stuff, shopping. They're in the malls, they're in the shopping centers, the parking lots with their books, colleges, not so much colleges because they're usually home for the holidays, so they're not going to be out. But traveling, they're going to be anywhere there's big group of people traveling around, tourists if they're in town, Hollywood Boulevard, Times Square, anything like that. And there's only a couple days left, so this Christmas marathon is winding down, and they are out there in forest today, tomorrow, tonight, tomorrow night, and trying to get those books in, and then maybe even next week too. I mean, I'm not sure when each temple ends their marathon, but it's a whole thing that they do, and they read off the scores, and they see who sold the most books and who brought in the most money, and using Christmas as their recruitment. And I mean, not only just selling books, but of course bringing people in, because the more books you distribute, the more likely you're going to catch a fish. The more hooks you throw in the ocean, the more chances the better your chances of catching a fish. So the more books they get out there, those are hooks, and the more chance they have of getting somebody in and crossing that rope bridge into Krishna land and into the world of sexism and racism and child molestation and all kinds of child marriage. And I just, ever since I watched that video with that girl, she's not a girl, she's a grown woman, but she talks about when she was a girl and how she had this horrible, traumatic life up until she was 13, because at 13 is when the bad stuff happened, is when she got married off at 13 to a 26-year-old man in India. And it was a whole nother level of trauma for her. I can't even, I knew there was stuff like that was happening, but I'd never heard it from someone. I'd never heard it, seen the face of a woman that grew up and went through that, raped behind a stage at a Krishna festival, and then the guy walks back up on stage. How sick is that? And then her mother, she had her own relationship with her mother. I'm not criticizing her relationship with her mother, but her mother, who treated her like it was her fault she got raped. It was her fault. She was the problem. This woman needed help. This woman needed therapy. And she got the opposite. She got married off to a 25-year-old man, 26-year-old man, and then whisked off to India, because that's what the mother wanted. And the father was a Hare Krishna. He didn't give a shit. He's busy running a temple in Washington, D.C. somewhere, doing something. He didn't care about his 13-year-old daughter. The mother obviously didn't care. What kind of insanity is that? How do you just abandon your kid like that? Just throw your kids to the fucking wolves. Marry your kid off to some guy. She didn't even know. She didn't know who that guy was. She didn't know who that guy was. It was just some guy. Needed a wife. Guru says guy needs a wife. You have a 13-year-old daughter, and this guy needs a wife. Hey, match made in heaven. This is just fucking disgusting. And like she said, the guy interviewing her is like, oh my goodness, I had no idea that was going on. The girl's like, it's in Prabhupada's books. You don't read these books, it's in the books. Prabhupada knew what was going on. Prabhupada was all for it. All right. Really? The fuck, man? And I'm going to tell you, that's how, half the people in this Hare Krishna movement are just like that guy. Oh, really? I had no idea. Child marriage? How many other girls do you think got married like you? The girl's like, I don't know, but I wasn't the only one. Oh, really? Hey, everybody, chant Hare Krishna. Get a book. The girl's like, it still blows my mind. It blows my mind that there's not more people. I'm sure there's a lot of people like me that as soon as they realize the light bulb went off, and they were like, I'm out of here. I'm sure there are more people like, I'm not the only one. But I would think that there would be so many that they would be closing that place down. That I can't believe that there's still people in the LA temple. But it's a cult, and they know. I can't believe that this guy was walking around in the LA community, and he's probably still walking around in the LA community. He was a child. He molested a little girl in the community. They all know about it. Nobody. They don't care. I knew the guy. I didn't know he was a child molester. And then somebody told me like it was no big deal. Oh, you know. I was like, I felt like I knew Hannibal Lecter. I felt like I was like Hannibal Lecter was my neighbor. Like Ted Bundy was my neighbor. This guy molested that little girl, and he's just allowed to just walk around the neighborhood like it's like la-di-da? And then I find out he's the same guy that was in the Robin George case. This little girl, this 16-year-old, I don't even think she was 16. I think she was like 14 or 15 years old. Back in the 70s. Joined the Hare Krishnas, and then she ended up suing the Hare Krishnas. He was involved in that. And I'm like, what was he doing with this little girl back then? I mean, she didn't claim any sexual abuse. And I'm not saying he did. But he was driving her around, and she was underage. This is what I'm talking about. He was doing shady shit in the 70s, 80s, 90s. For over 20 years, this guy's doing shady shit in LA, and he's just part of the community. He's just like Hannibal Lecter lives there. And nobody says anything. And everybody knows Hannibal Lecter lives there, but nobody says anything. How insane is that? How insane is that? The school teacher knew. She told me after the fact. That was part of the what is causing this insanity. How does a child molester, everybody in the community knows that this guy molested this girl. And everybody's just okay with it. Literally, everybody's just okay. They're just literally okay with it. He's allowed to stay in the community with little kids running around. My daughter running around. And no one told me that this guy. In what world is that normal? In what world? In what part of California? In what part of the United States is it normal for a whole community, a whole neighborhood, a close-knit, a whole neighborhood, to know that there are predators in the neighborhood, and everybody's like, shh. That's not weird. He was never, everybody knows he did it. The mom, the little girl, the school teacher, people that I know that had nothing to do with it knew. He never went to jail, never went to court, never was arrested. And he's just allowed to just stay there. Like in what insane universe is that just okay? The Hare Krishna universe, that's the universe where it's okay. That's where it happens. That's why your kids are in danger when you go to a Hare Krishna temple. Because you don't know who the molester is there. And no one's going to tell you that there's a molester there. Even if they know there's a molester there, they're not going to tell you. And they're going to let you come, and they're going to let you bring your kids, and they're going to let you're going to let your kids make friends with the other little kids, and you don't know that there's a molester running around. And they're not going to tell you. He's not registered with the police. He's not registered with the state. The people in the community, you can't trust them because they're going to keep quiet. You can't trust the temple president. You'd think the temple president would tell you, right? He's in charge of the community. You think he'd say, hey, no, he's not going to tell you. The head priest of the temple, the pujari, the guy that does all the offering and all that stuff that you think is so saintly and so pure and so got the tilak and all that, he's not going to tell you that there's a molester in the neighborhood. No one is going to tell you. The school teacher didn't even tell me. The school teacher didn't tell me that this guy, there were plenty of times when she could have said, you see that guy over there? That guy's a child molester. She never told me until after. And he's not the one that molested my daughter. It was a different guy. But after my daughter was molested by a different guy, she felt like she could tell me that that guy was a molester too. If that's not the most fucked up thought process, you didn't want to tell me before. You had plenty of opportunities, plenty of chances to tell me that this guy is a child molester. But you wait until somebody else molests my daughter, and then you turn around and go, oh, by the way, now that your daughter has been molested, oh, by the way, that guy over there is a molester too. So watch out for him too. So now you got to watch out for this guy, and you better watch out for that guy too. What the fucking world, what kind of fucked up world do you think this is? Well, that's normal. Oh yeah, hey, thanks for warning me about the guy that didn't molest my daughter. Thanks for warning me about him. Meanwhile, you got a child molester working in your school. You don't even know who that guy is. He's just some Indian guy that comes over here, so you stick him in your school in charge of kids. Because he's a Hare Krishna. And that has somehow magically qualifies him to be in charge of kids. That's what this fucking cult is. That's what's in these books. That's how they get you thinking. You read these books, you hang out with these people, you start to think like that. You don't come into this cult thinking like that. You don't walk into this cult. You don't wake up and go, you know what? I want to find out a cult that believes that there's a demon head eating the moon. Little girls like to be raped. Let me see if I can find a cult like that. And thinks women are stupid and have small brains. Is there a cult around here like that? Oh, the Hare Krishnas? Let me go join them. Nobody does that. There's nobody walking around who thinks that. Oh, I think there might be a demon head that eats the moon, and I think there might be I think women might be stupid, and I think that maybe black, and then they go, oh, the Hare Krishnas believe that? Let me go join them. No, that doesn't happen. Normal people who don't believe any of this crap at all, they get one of these fucking books, they read it, they don't understand what's going on. They go down there, they start talking to some of these people, because some of the ideas in the book sound cool. Well, that sounds kind of cool. Yeah, we are kind of all one. Yeah, we are kind of spirit souls. All the shit that you already kind of understand that you've heard from other places is in the books. But all this mixed in with all this other crap, so you get kind of confused. Well, I don't know, this sounds good, that sounds good, but I don't understand this, I don't understand that. Probably a lot like Dianetics. So then you ask a Scientologist, well, what does he mean when he says this? You ask a Hare Krishna, well, what does he mean when he says that? And then it starts. And then the lying and the cheating and the fakery and the forgery and all the bullshit starts. And if you want to learn how that works, there's plenty of YouTube videos of cult experts, people that know a lot more than me. They explain exactly how the cult rewards you for, they get you to change your thinking a little bit at a time. It's not like overnight you just, I believe in a demon head eating the moon. But over time, with rewards and different interactions, they can change your thinking. They can get you to think. They can change the way you think. And so there's plenty of those videos, and they're pretty fascinating. They're pretty fascinating, and you can watch them. It's just like, it's almost the way that hostages are brainwashed into thinking that the Stockholm Syndrome and other types of psychological things that happen in your brain when you're under stress and under different circumstances. So there's plenty of those videos where you can watch how that actually happens. But it all starts with these books, getting these books into your hands and selling them during Christmas, which is really, really super evil. Christmas is a time for, goodwill towards fellow man and peace on earth and all that. And Hare Krishnas are the farthest from peace on earth. They are hateful, evil. Just how can you be a peaceful person when you're preaching that women like to be raped? Tell me how that's peaceful. That is one of the most violent things you can tell somebody. Hey, women like to be raped. That's like Frankenstein type thinking. Frankenstein mentality. Women like to be raped. Hey, you know what else? They also like it when you punch them in the face. Yeah, women really like that. Just pop them right in the nose. The fuck? Hey, I'm going to call it quits right here. I'm going to end it right here. Let me, there you go. Class is over. So if you're in the Hare Krishnas, man, I hope I made some cracks open up. I hope you heard some truth. I hope you heard it from someone who's been in it, who was in it, 20 years in it. I've been out for 12 years, going on 13 years out. I was in it for 20 years. I met big wigs, little wigs, and every wig in between. All the medium wigs. I know the gurus, I know the secrets, I know the stories, I know it all. I'm not making it up. And it's not a big all this stuff I'm saying ain't no big secret. You can go online and find it. You can do a Google search. You can find out about the $400 million lawsuit. You can find out about how Prabhupada's a fake and a forgery. I just found out that there's people in the Hare Krishnas that they also agree with me. Well, not agree with me because they don't know me. But they say the same thing. They don't say the same things that I say. They don't agree with me because they don't know me. But they're saying the same things that I say. That the 6 Goswamis made this all up. I don't even know if there were 6 Goswamis. There may have been 4.5 Goswamis. I don't know if there was exactly 6. But there's a guy in ISKCON who doesn't even believe the stories that the Goswamis made up. And I don't believe them either. Because when I read it, and her like, the milk, when they were boiling the milk jumped out of the pan because it was in love with Krishna, and it just could, and it was like, I could understand like the poetry, but this is coming from Jiva Goswami or Rupa Goswami or Sanatana Goswami. It's coming from one of the Goswamis. It's not in the Vedas. It's not in the Bhagavad Gita. It's not in the Krishna book. It's not in any of those things. It's Jiva Goswami or Rupa Goswami expanding on these stories about why the milk why the milk boiled over, or why the river did all these things. And I was like, I don't know if I buy all that. And there are other people in ISKCON, in the Gaudiya Vaishnav, Parampara, whatever, Sampradaya, that also believe that at least some of these stories are just stories. So I feel just a little bit validated in that, it's not an uncommon thought process. Like I don't even know if these stories about who these people are real. I just don't know that I can believe all these stories. But anyway, that's for a whole other show. I'll do a whole other show on that. But anyway, I want to thank everybody. Let me ring the bell again. Second time. Class is over. Thanks everybody for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. If I don't see you before then, have a Happy New Year. I'll try to be back on every day, and then probably take another vacation. But I'm going to try and be back on every day. So thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Spread the word. Get my videos out there to other people who need to get out of whatever cult they're in. Whether it's Hare Krishna, Scientology, Moonies, whatever it is. You got to hear the truth. And you got to hear it. You got to hear the truth. So thanks, everybody. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And thanks again.